Okay, first I would like to thank Gemera and the organizers for this invitation. We are still in a preliminary stage. We are planning to come to Argentina to mine the quarry in Rio Negro and with exploration projects in the first quarter of next year. Argentina Mining Limited, despite has the same name of this Congress, has no relationship with the organizers, but we do share with the organizers and participants the enthusiasm for the mining in Argentina and specifically in San Juan. Argentina Mining Limited is a public company that is not traded yet at the stock exchange in Australia. The objective of Argentina Mining Limited is the restructuring and acquisition of two Argentinian holdings companies called ERSAT and Yeso Alto Valley. ERSA has a right to mine and explore an important amount of mining properties in the province of San Juan with different stages of development. But in a preliminary stage, although some of them have drilling targets, others have been drilled, but a long road to explore is in the future. We defined copper, gold, porphyry project, epithermal, gold and silver projects, and we have 3 projects in the north of the province, very near to Veladero, where Peter talked about Despoblado and Patricio talked about the north zone also. So we have a zone of a large amount of activities. The gypsum quarry, although you might think is something different, the vision of Argentina Mining was to incorporate and add the quarry because the cash flow generation from a resource that will become reserves very soon will and can be effective for a junior company that has high capital risk investments. The structure of the company is this one. We have a head office in Perth, Western Australia, with the reporting of the 2 holdings in Argentina, ERSEN and YAV. To achieve this objective, we will have an office in the city of San Juan, and we will appoint a country manager that will report to the board of directors in Perth and to the CEO. In fact, today we have the presence of the 2 directors plus the manager of Argentina Mining that have come from Australia with me. And the location of the projects, we have said that they are located in San Juan for the metal mines and in the south of Argentina for the quarry. We have geological environments that are vary. We have the pre-cordillera, frontal cordillera, and main cordillera, with different states of development and accesses. Some are high mountainous areas, so we have access only in summer, and in the south we have the projects for the whole year, such as Cerro Blanco and Tres Amigos. Argentina Mining considers San Juan as what we call an elephant country in English. This is because there have been very important discoveries such as Veladero, Pascualama, Los Azules, Patón, world-class deposits. So as you can see here, we have the distribution of the projects and the relationships with such projects that are in progress and in exploitation. In Cerro Blanco, we consider it as our flagship project. Before they talked about the presence of Miocene rocks, porphyry rocks. This is a clear example of that. The Leoncito intrusive to the north is composed of porphyry rocks of Miocene age with petrochemical characteristics and geochemical characteristics that make it adequate for the development of copper moly porphyries. This has been explored already, and we have enough information to consider it as a drilling target. In the surface, we have obtained samples that are important of copper in oxides and moly. Here, this project that is considered the most advanced one has been drilled. 2 drill holes were not successful, but 2 of them have detected sulfides, 70 meters of copper and moly sulfides at a short distance from the surface. So that is very promising for the future prospection of this area after the mapping. The Tres Amigos project is a small project where prospectors and explorers have seen prospects of high gold grades that have been considered epithermal, but more studies are required. They could be orogenic origin, so we must see shear zones. We must study this area further, but the grades obtained by the prospectors have been very interesting, and that gives attractiveness to this project because it's near a porphyry intrusives that has several pulses and shows copper mineralization. The Argentina mining objective is to have sulfide veins, yes, but the objective actually is to determine copper porphyries. Here you can see several of the workings. They're relatively important, some of them 15-20 meters deep with grades, gold grades that are quite interesting, and copper, with the color of copper always associated. Sulfides have been detected, so we see an immediate attractiveness to continue with the prospection. Amiches, this is a project that has been established and explored during the 90s and before. The merit of Argentina mining was that it consolidated different properties to cover 12,000 hectares in this zone with a hydrothermal system that have high and low sulfidization, and there is a potential to have a high tonnage deposit. In former explorations, as you see in the table, have determined interesting grades, both of gold and silver, not for copper though. And this represents a system that is eroded and has a great depth over the source. And former works from explorers in joint venture with Entropy have determined important zones such as the area of Piriquén that has hydrothermal alterations with minerals such as alunite and dikite with grades of up to 5 grams per ton of gold, and that represents the first targets for scouting drilling. San Francisco is a less advanced project that in the 90s was briefly explored with some results that were quite promising for gold, especially in the zone of Las Leñas and Malpaso. So for us, it represents an important target also during summer season. You can see that the alteration has several similarities with Coipita and other copper porphyries in that same area. As we said, in the Iglesia to the north, we have 3 projects that are totally grassroots for us. They represent a good opportunity to apply geochemical regional techniques. Perhaps the priority will be in the other projects, but this represents high attractiveness. Here we have Malvex and other companies with high activity in the zone currently, and it is near Veladero, so it makes it very attractive. It is an arc of about 50 kilometers. San Crispin is one of the projects, El Toro, Ortiga, near or to the east of Despoblados, and East San Terron in the old zone of Chesán. This can be an exercise for target generation, for mapping, just to continue with the development of our portfolio. To end, briefly, I would like to talk about the gypsum quarry. We will call it Gypsum Production Unit. It is an autonomous unit that has no interference with the exploration for metals in the north. It's a world-class deposit, although it is not certified. We can talk about billions of tons of the highest purity. There are few examples in the world of such a high volume and the purity of calcium sulfate, 96%, and has been operated during the last 50 years in cement, for cement and agriculture. So our idea is to reactivate this production unit, and this requires an investment capital that is small and with a return of the revenues that will help in the development of the San Juan explorations. We have a modest objective. What the quarry had produced as an average in 2007-2008. It stopped working in 2009, and we thought in re-equipping it with our own equipment and to start working with local cement companies, and a lot of progress is being made with the international trade, especially with Uruguay and Chile. The advantage is that we have a very good communications network through railroad and roads with access of 500 kilometers to Bahia Blanca to take to Uruguay or river to Paraguay also. This is very sensitive to freight, so we must adjust variables. But with our initial conversations, we have got very good results for the future potential to start working with this business unit. And this is the last slide. What we expect from Argentina Mining during the next 12 months. First, to float in the ASX from Australia. This fact is the beginning to present the prospects, and in the last quarter we will go to ASX. We will start the exploration of the advanced projects for copper gold, to drill the best targets, to advance the regional exploration of grassroots projects, and to have a sustainable production in the gypsum business unit with positive cash flows. So this is a summary of Argentina Mining Limited, and anything you want to know, you can go to our stand. Thank you very much.